Hey everyone, it's Southern Belle Canto, and I am going to be doing my ranking of the Bridgerton series. So in front of me, I have all of the books. I have The Duke and I have The Viscount Who Loved Me, I have An Offer from a Gentleman, I have, where's number 4? Oh, here it is. Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Number 5, which was, oh goodness, which one was number 5? Let me look it up real quick. I always want to flip-flop them because the timeline's got a little funky. Near the end, everything kind of happened within 6 months. Okay, 2. Sir Philip with Love is number 5. Yes. Number 6 is When He Was Wicked. Number 7 is Annie's Kiss. And number 8, On the Way to the Wedding. So, maybe I'll do like a quick little synopsis of each other. Very brief. This is obviously the basis of the first season. So we have the eldest daughter, Daphne, and Simon, the Duke of Hastings. Very good book. Number 2 is Anthony's Romance. And this will be coming out very soon on Netflix. So this is The Viscount Who Loved Me. Anthony is a Viscount. And we also have the wonderful Kate. Now they have different names for Kate. In the book, she's just like an English Rose or whatever. And we have some more diversity in the show, which is very exciting. Book 3, we have An Offer from a Gentleman, which is Benedict's story and Sophie. This is a Cinderella trope, as you can tell. Very good. Book 4 is Colin and Penelope's Romance. I'll say it right now. This probably will have spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, please stop watching. Thank you. This is To Sir Philip with Love, which is Eloise and Sir Philip. And this, to me, is sort of like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I think it's kind of a Grumpy Sunshine trope. Kind of a gothic castle. To me, it kind of read as Beauty and the Beast retelling, but not like the movie or cartoon, just like the trope of Beauty and the Beast. Let me know if you think the same. Book 6 was When He Was Wicked. This is Francesca's story. I believe it was mostly set in Scotland. This is a friends to lovers, and sort of forbidden because it is the cousin of her late husband. Oh, this one I liked a lot. This is It's in His Kiss. It was Hyacinth's story. And this is also sort of I wouldn't say enemies to lovers, but not necessarily friends. But wonderful, wonderful wit and humor in this one. And the last one, On the Way to the Wedding. This one had friends to lovers / kind of fake dating / fake courtship, but very good. So, oh, and this is Gregory and Lucy's Romance. So let me just get them all out and do my quick little rating. So my number 1 is An Offer from a Gentleman. This is my absolute favorite of the series. It is a Cinderella trope and just had wonderful romance. And I like that it wasn't a Cinderella trope where he fell in love with her beauty, because I think it was a masked ball, so you didn't really see all of her. He fell in love with her mind, and that she kind of stood up to him. Sophie is very independent, and she was coming out to the ball not to meet a man or find her Prince Charming. She wanted to have a night off and just enjoy her day. And they fell in love. Well, yeah, I don't know if they fell in love that night. Well, Benedict fell into an infatuation, but Sophie, I think she really liked him. She knew he was a Bridgerton, and there's lots of conflict along the way that dealt with social class issues and sort of societal restrictions regarding Sophie, because she wasn't a legitimate child of I think he was a duke, so she couldn't hold title. Her mother was the mistress to the duke, and so as the bastard child, she basically had no rights or status, and lots of issues. But this is my favorite. I don't want to give too many spoilers. I know this, I said I was going to have spoilers, but don't want to give too many. This was my absolute favorite. Coming in at number 2 for my most favorite. Oh goodness. I would say The Duke and I. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I really loved Daphne. I thought she was the right amount of this like poly-perfect archetype, but really brainy, and she knew what she wanted. She went for it, and just a really strong character. Simon is also a wonderful character as well. He's one of my top heroes of the series, but I really loved Daphne. I love the show. If you watch the show, I would say for the most part you've read the book. So if you wanted to jump into the series but didn't feel like reading the first book because you've seen the show and you just sort of want to see what happens next, I would say you could probably skip the book. There's not too many changes. Not enough where it'd be like confusing to read on in the series. So yes, my number 2 was The Duke and I. Number 3, oh, it's getting tough. There's so many that were like right at 5s. I would say To Sir Philip with Love. I really liked Sir Philip. He was sort of a, I don't want to say damaged character, but he had a lot of issues. And what was kind of annoying was he had these like anger issues that were needed to be addressed, and he was very like switched. He could be really loving and caring, and then he could be really kind of like the Beast and Beauty and the Beast. He kind of had this on-off switch, which to me was never addressed well in the story, but maybe I was reading too much into it, no pun intended. But yeah, he's a botanist, and his wife has passed away. It was basically, this has a trigger warning for a loss of spouse, and I would call it suicide or attempted suicide. His wife tries to drown herself in the lake, which his wife is the cousin of the Bridgertons, so Eloise writes to him. She sort of give her condolences, but they strike up a friendship and a courtship, and she basically sneaks off in the middle of the night to go and see if they are meant to be suitable, like get married. And he doesn't say that he has children, and I know some people don't like children in romance novels. I didn't mind. I thought the kids were sort of needed for this archetype. To me, I've still caught Beauty and the Beast vibes, and if you've ever seen the Fran Drescher rom-com Beautician and the Beast, you'll really like this book, because the children are sort of these pranksters that try to get at Eloise, but Eloise, she is not going to be messed with, so let's just say that. All right, I would say my next, these are all so close, so I would say the next one would be Romancing Mr Burgerton. This has Penelope and Colin. Penelope is at a struggle because she has this secret that she doesn't want to come out, and one of her secrets is, of course, that she has been in love with Colin since forever. And she's basically looking at a sad sort of spinsterhood, but she sort of lets Colin know, like, hey, I'm here, I've always loved you. And has some great intrigue and secrets, and this was definitely, as you can see, one of my favorites. All right, then When He Was Wicked, this is Francesca's wonderful story as well. This one was probably was it? This might be the most romantic of all of the series, which I didn't think so. I wouldn't have thought so, because one, Francesca, I don't even know if she was in the first season of the show. Like, I think they hired an actress, and I think she had like one scene, and she was like not even have a line. I'm not fully sure. But if you read the book, you'll be like, where's Francesca? Because she's such a wonderful character. This was a sad book. And I would say with Julia Quinn, in a lot of her sort of preambles, like, or a prequel, not prequel, what's it called? Her introductions, or does it say, what's it called? Part 1, what's that called? Now it starts with chapter 1, but it's sort of like sometimes her first chapters are kind of like a setup for the story. And it was very sad because it does talk about the death of, what was his name? Not Michael, her husband's. Does it say what her husband's name was? I can't remember off the top of my head. But her husband passes away, and it's very, very sad. And this also has loss of pregnancy as well, which, I mean, double whammy of sadness. And it just had this wonderful second chance romance, because Michael, who was her husband's cousin, basically when he saw her, he fell in love with her. And it was forbidden. They were always sort of like comrades. It was like the three amigos. But, you know, it was forbidden because it was, you know, she was married to his cousin. But now there's sort of freedom, but there's sort of this, you know, do they want to do that? Would it work? Is it legal? I think they had to check that out. But, oh, this was really romantic. And, oh, you'll love this book. This one, very good. See, like I've said that about these three. These three, I have a clear winner of An Offer from Gentleman as number 1, but really all of these are like number 2. Like even the Duke and I. Duke and I is number 2, but these are also good. I mean, I'm not really ranking them as like this one was a little less great. These are all 5 stars. I mean, there's only 2 that I think I did give everyone a 5-star because I knew they're going to be good, but there's only 2 that weren't like 5.5 stars. But all 3 of these, ooh, wonderful. All right, and then I would say my next favorite was It's in His Kiss. And yet again, I could pile this all with being a strong number 2 because they were just also good. This one, if you are a Lady Danbury fan, you will eat this up. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Hyacinth is basically the companion for Lady Danbury. You got all the charm and fun and almost semi-rude comments from Lady Danbury, and Violet sort of throws her right back. And Violet is her own sort of like mini young Mrs. Danbury. And the romance is between, what's his name? Gareth. And he is the grandson of Lady Danbury. And he has a secret, and he's trying to solve this sort of mystery. And Francesca helps him. But, oh, this one is so good. Oh, like I said, if you love Lady Danbury, you're going to love It's in His Kiss. And just wonderful. All right, and these I would say would be my lowest 2. And this was, I would say, On the Way to the Wedding. Had a strong start, really fun start. The middle, to me, lost focus. And I got confused because there was so many back and forths between Lucy and Gregory. Like, I like you, but I like this other person. But I'm engaged to this person, but she's engaged to this person. And so it was a little confusing. But Hyacinth low-key steals the show in a lot of parts of this book. We have some lovely scenes with Violet. Violet's a strong character. She's in, I think, almost all the books as well. But I would say the middle lost focus for me, and that's why it's sort of rated low. But still, I gave it a 5, but it's more of a 4. But still, a great book. I was kind of sad for this to be the ending and not have like all the Bridgertons together. Like I know they wouldn't have Thanksgiving, but like at the wedding, you know, like having dinner and like all the family together and laughing and having a party. So that was kind of a bummer, but still wonderful conclusion. I'm sad that it's done. All right, and my final is The Viscount Who Loved Me. I'm not quite sure why I didn't like this book so much. I really thought I was going to love it. I gave it a 5. This is more of a 4. But I love Anthony on the show. I liked him in the book, but it was just, I don't even know. I liked Kate a lot. I thought she was a really fun character. I actually liked Kate's character more than Anthony in the book, which was surprising. I guess the one thing I didn't enjoy was, and juliaquinn did this with another character. I think it was Michael in When He Was Wicked, and also Simon. But she has like these men with rakish reputations. And in this series, we do get to see them, like, you know, when we see Anthony, I think for the first time on screen, he's hooking up with some lady on a tree. And that's sort of what we needed more for in the book with Anthony. It's like with Anthony and Michael and maybe Gareth, it was like, oh, these men are they're rakes. They're, you know, going out to get you. They've got all these women. They're like Don Giovanni. And we didn't get that in the book. Maybe that's why I kind of rated it low. And I thought he's going to be this, like, cocky, but in a good way. Sort of like BD energy. And he was sort of just kind of paranoid. It goes into the death of his father. And it's sort of a weird way for the father to die. You would think, like, he died in battle or thrown off a horse or something, but he died from a bee sting, and it killed him unexpectedly. And he had been stung by a bee before and was okay, and he got stung later on in life, like at either late 30s, early 40s, and died within like 5 minutes, and not a great way to go. And Anthony was 18 at the time, and, you know, Violet was in her early 40s and was pregnant with Hyacinth at the time, and just really messed with Anthony and his outlook on life. So it seemed like he went to find solace in women, but didn't give me enough rakiness. So yeah, it was sad. And to me, this had the marriage of convenience factor, as well as sort of the caught in a scandal. I know my favorite trope is whenever it's sort of like forced marriage because you were like caught in a compromised position, and that did happen to Anthony and Kate. And Anthony didn't want to marry for love, and it was sort of weird because I think it was another one where pretty sure they were married before they had any sort of sex or hooking up. I know with the Duke and I, they like basically were making out, and Simon was fondling Daphne's breasts in the garden, but I don't believe they had any sort of sexual relations till after they were married. And I think with Anthony and Kate, I don't think anything happened till after they were married, and it wasn't like, you know, ooh, we're together and the sex is amazing sort of thing, you know, in the book. So just sort of interesting. I guess I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, I guess I expected a lot more lust and spiciness with this book from what we were told about Anthony being a rake, and just sort of, well, I know the TV show shouldn't matter because this was written almost 20 years ago, which surprised me. I thought they came out like in looks like this was written in 2000, so over 20 years ago. But I really thought it was going to be a lot more spicier and more, I guess, not angsty, but very, a lot of attraction. And it was sort of like repulsion, or like, I guess we'll do this sort of thing. And if someone wanted to know which one I would rate as the spiciest, I would say it would probably be To Sir Philip with Love, which was surprising. I think these three I would say, which would be The Offer from a Gentleman, The Duke and I, and To Sir Philip with Love, are the spiciest. And I would say that To Sir Philip with Love is the spiciest. It had the most sex scenes, and kind of alarming. I just Philip, it was this complete on-off switch with him. He could be this like kind of nerdy botanist. In my head, he was sort of like buttoned up with like glasses. I don't think he had glasses, but in my head. And then he would like switch, and I feel like the shirt would get ripped and like, you know, Jekyll and Hyde. But yeah, he would be, if I remember, he was like low-key kind of rough. And Eloise was sort of into that, and I was sort of like, what? I don't know. I wouldn't have expected Eloise to be like, you know, when he was given. So yeah, that was interesting. But overall, I am sad that the series is over. And I absolutely loved all the books, all 8. I read all of them this year, which I thought was really cool. It's usually weird for me to read all of a series, but this one wasn't hard to do because I loved every one of them. But yeah, I read the whole series in 2021, and I actually waited to watch the show until I read the first book. So I didn't actually watch the show until like February, March of this year, and highly recommend the books. I love juliaquinn. She has so much humor in her story, so much wit, and someone calls her like the modern day Jane Austen. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that, because it deals with the social constructs of that society, but it reads more modern than Jane Austen. I feel like Jane Austen to me is pretty modern, but you know, it is still kind of funky when like Mary ejaculated at the table, I mean, like, she exclaimed. You're like, what? You know. But yeah, I love the series. I would love for juliaquinn to write a new series. It doesn't have to be Bridgerton related. I know she did The Wit and Wisdom of Mrs. Whistledown. And oh yeah, I would say the one thing that I didn't like about the series is that during the series we find out who Miss Whistledown is, and it stops. We don't have any more Mrs. Whistledown. So there's like the first couple books when we have the Miss Whistledown, and then we don't get any more Whistledown, and that really bummed me out, because honestly, Mrs. Whistledown, she might have been my second favorite character to the book's heroine. So yeah, I was really bummed that Mrs. Whistledown wasn't a major part of the series. But other than that, I really love the series. Bummed about Mrs. Whistledown not continuing with every book, and the ending of the series was a little sad because I kind of wanted all the siblings together and at this party or whatever. But yeah. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my review of the entire Bridgerton series and my ranking of the books. If you've read this series, let me know, and leave your favorite Bridgerton book in a comment down below. I'd love to read it and find out. If you're looking forward to season 2, I'm thinking at one point it was going to come out around Valentine's Day of 2022. I'm hoping that that's going to happen. I know with Netflix, they release the whole show at once. So with editing and sound mixing and all that, it could take longer for the show, but I'm hoping we don't have to wait till like Christmas or something. That would be a bummer. Well, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, as well as subscribe, and I will see y'all soon for another video. Bye, everyone.